The story goes like this. The soul god of Fernhelion and the lunar god of Lacus Mare rallied together to tame the 6 wild gods, each taking 3 under their wing and turning our world of chaos into one of peace. That's probably the story you've heard, right? It's a lie they sold you. They wanted to control the world in its entirety, just the 2 of them. They didn't have the power to destroy the other gods, though, or to steal their powers, so they sealed them away. The second of the sealed gods was the god of protection, Refuge Bunting. She could keep the other gods safe by guarding them with her vicious fanged maw, and she had a loyalty like no other. Once her mind was set to a task, there was no dissuading or distracting her. So the 2 cruel gods took her focus from her, cursing her to roam with a pack of wild beasts mindlessly. Some might consider it a blessing to be unaware of all troubles. But for one who existed to protect others, being made into a beast that only knows how to protect itself and lashes out at all who come near is the worst curse of all. So if you find yourself on the moors and get the creeping sense you're being watched, or catch sight of a pack of wild dogs, you should turn back quickly, lest you be torn to shreds by a beast who can no longer discern reality. Even as a chained elemental spirit, Refuge still has the instincts to protect, even if it's only herself and her pack, and she'll go to any lengths to do that. Every day, she slips further and further into madness. I suggest you don't venture too far into the wilderness, lest you become influenced by her and become wild yourself. Okay, so on to the actual art commentary. This is another god for the story I'm planning for NaNoWriMo, the god of protection. She's called Refuge, and her animal ambassador is any kind of canine. In this picture it's wolves that she's been forced to wander with, but really when I think about protective animals, I of course think about guard dogs in general. And like the first one of this series, she also has a sort of element. The mist itself is her thing. If you haven't watched the first of this series, the Speedpaint of the God Under the Sea, I suggest that one first for a little more context. Anyway, just like Seish, her being the god of protection isn't just a 100% good or bad thing, it just is. Most people hear protection and automatically assume it's all good or bad though. And yeah, she can keep you and those you love safe, but the dark side of protection is when maybe you're protecting someone to an unhealthy extent, basically like a helicopter parent, or being too overprotective to the point of someone being kind of sheltered and naive. Or even if you have like a lot of possessions you want protected, it can easily turn into greed. Unlike Seish, who is totally conscious and aware at the bottom of the ocean, poor Refuge is a confused mess, and that of course makes her extremely defensive. She perceives everyone and everything as a threat except for the wild wolves she wanders with, and she's basically hyper-focused on protecting them. About the art itself, I'm not going to say I'm the best at drawing animals, I definitely need to practice. But I'm also the one who's been working on this story, and I really wanted all the gods to have animal representatives, so I don't really have anyone to blame but myself for how long the sketch took and how much I struggled off screen with wolf anatomy. I was erasing and redrawing and erasing and redrawing a lot of times, and I'm fine with how the final product turned out. Like, I think they're recognizable as wolves, and that's about all I could ask for. For colors, I knew I wanted Refuge to be blending into the mist, like if you take a few steps back and squint, you might not see her. The wolves are the most contrasted in the forefront, and you'd assume they're the biggest threat, but if you're close enough to spot her, it's probably too late for you. I knew I wanted the palette to be pretty desaturated and misty too, so to add to the visual interest I focused less on fancy shading and more on textures and the levels of contrast, or lack thereof in certain places. There's not a lot of hard defined lines, there's just enough to shape things out and your brain can kind of fill in the rest. It's a lot more minimal than the Seish piece. His was very contrasted and sharp in the way that I painted the water in that one, and this one is very soft, I feel like. That's about all I have to say about this piece. There's going to be a few more paintings in this series until NaNoWriMo, so if you enjoyed this or the first, feel free to subscribe to keep an eye on them. and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks for watching!